welcome back to my channel. Thanks for joining us today for the Citrus Twist kits and the Cut Shop product swap. Here I just wanted to start off with showing you what came in the May kit from Citrus Twist Kits. So I was just showing the pattern paper there and some of the cards, and then I'm going to go ahead and get started, and I'm working on week 15 of my Project Life album. So I always start off with the same title card, and I'm using that through the entire album, and I'm looking through the cards and just making sure that these 3x4 cards are the ones that I want to use on this spread, and I'm adding a few embellishments that I have already chosen to go across the spread. Now in the 4x6 slot in the upper right hand corner, that is a piece of pattern paper I cut down from the 6x6 pattern paper. And so I'm just looking across the spread and making sure that everything is looking pretty balanced, and then I'm going to go ahead and work on that title card. So here I'm still kind of just grabbing a few embellishments that I had pulled aside that coordinated with my color scheme. Now for this layout, my color scheme was the light mint and that more green citron color and white, and then the cork. So I tried to keep mostly to those colors and pulled out embellishments and cards that coordinated with that color scheme across the entire spread. So here you'll see I'm taking that little ephemera piece that came in the kit. I believe that's from the currently edition of Project Life, the ephemera pack, and I placed that on a few pop-up dots and placed that in the center of my 4x6 card. Now I like to keep my weekly title cards pretty simple, but for this one, what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to take my weekly stamp and I'm going to stamp the date right on the front of that title card from the beginning of the week to the end of the week. And then next I'm going to take that little cork piece that came in the kit, that heart, and I'm going to nestle it right in between the week and the 15. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to poke some holes on either side of that heart, and then grab some white embroidery floss, and I'm going to stitch that little heart down to the title card. So I'm just going to use my paper piercer to poke those holes, two on either side of that heart, and here I'm just threading that needle, and I'm just going to back stitch over the cork piece, and that's just going to hold that little heart all the way down onto my title card. Now I could just glue it down, but I liked the added interest of the heart being sewn down, and it just adds a little bit more of a personal touch as opposed to just gluing it down. Now gluing it down, again, works totally fine, and there are some weeks where I would totally just do that. But this week I was feeling a little bit more crafty and I had a little bit more time, so I was able to spend the time to add a few extra little touches. But again, this is just an extra added touch that not necessarily needs to be done and would have been totally fine without it. Project Life is all about making it work for you. So there are definitely some weeks where I have the time to put in a little bit more, and there are some weeks where it definitely is get the pictures and the journal cards into pockets and call it good. And either way is totally fine. In the end, it's just about making sure those memories are documented and into your album. So moving on to the rest of this page, and I'm just going to look around. Now that little circle that is on the 3x4, the mint 3x4 card, that one is going to end up being pulled out because I don't have any other navy on the rest of the layout. So there you saw me pull it out and replace it with a little label. So now you'll see me, I'm just going to move over the left side of the layout and start laying out the right side of my layout. Now I do this to make sure across the whole spread I am going to have some consistency and balance in color and in weight of embellishments. So here I'm just grabbing some embellishments that I had pulled aside in my color scheme. I also have those little silver embellishments, so I'm making sure, as you can see there, I have 3 of the silver embellishments balanced across the layout: the happy circle, the reading, and the silver label. And I also have the cork embellishments balanced around the layout. Now here I was looking for a little clip to clip the little baseball tickets that I had from my son and my husband going to a baseball game this week. So I was trying out a few clips to see. I had a mint one and a green one, and the green was 2 greens next to each other, so that didn't work. And so next I grabbed a black and a silver, and I'm gonna see if those work. I think ultimately I ended up going with the silver heart to clip down those tickets. So after I find the right clip, I'm just going to go ahead and move on with the rest of my layout. So the 3x4 card that was right next to those tickets had a little bit of yellow writing about memory, and I really loved that card, but because that color didn't match, I went ahead and I'm going to take that little ephemera piece and I'm going to layer it over the top of that to make sure that my colors coordinated across the entire layout. Now here I grabbed my roller date stamp because there's a spot on that card for the date, but as I looked closer, it looked like the date stamp wasn't going to fit there, so I'm just going to add my typing. So here I'm grabbing all the pieces from my layout that I'm going to add typing, and through the magic of television, voila, there it is. All my typing is added to my layout. So now I can go ahead and add those little ephemera pieces to the entire spread, where I added the typing first, because of course I couldn't send those through my typewriter if I had those little ephemera pieces on. So I also added that little cut apart piece that was from the cut apart sheet that was included in the kit. And then I'm also going to glue down all the little cork pieces. So as I'm moving across the spread, I'm making sure that I have those cork pieces scattered all around the spread, and the silver handwriting balanced across the spread also. Now I thought about popping another piece of the ephemera up because I had popped up that little happy piece, but in the end nothing really worked right as far as being popped up, so I kind of used the hearts as the other dimensional pieces that were coming off the page. So on this card I had the silver tag and also that little piece that said currently. I added that because I had black on the lower left of the spread on that little piece that says yum enjoying. The yum is actually a digital piece that I used, that I added in Photoshop, and the enjoying, like I said, was from the cut apart sheet, but I needed to add some black, so that's why I added that black right over there. I love the little stamp set that came in the kit, so I wanted to find a place to use it on the spread. So here I'm stamping fave, and then I'm going to stamp in the right hand side too. Just had 2 little spots that you could stamp in, so I wanted to make sure that I used the stamp somewhere on the spread because it was just so cute. So I'm going to go ahead and add my stamping there, and then that'll complete that card on the right side. So now I'm going to just look across the entire spread, and I think I'm almost done. What I'm going to go ahead now is pick up a few cards to add some stitching to. So I'm going to take my sewing machine and some white thread, and I'm just going to add a little bit of detail stitching on a few of those cards. And that again is just going to bring consistency throughout the entire layout and I just love how those little handmade touches look across the entire spread. So here I'm just going to place all the cards into my page protectors and give you a look at the entire spread all together. So make sure you stay tuned to the very end to see some still shots, and you can also stop by the Cut Shop and Citrus Twist kits to check out the May kit and the products that we have in the Etsy shop over at the Cut Shop. So lots of fun stuff happening today. Make sure you go along the hop and comment for a chance to win part of the giveaway. Thanks so much for stopping by. Have a fabulous day, and thank you so much. Bye-bye.